For our session this morning, let's reconnect with that watery aspect of our body. Let's come to laying down on the back and just draw the knees into the chest, either holding still or rocking a bit side to side. So our bodies are made up mostly of water, and anytime liquid gets stagnant, that's not beneficial for us. So we want to get the juices flowing, get the water moving. So from here, let's extend arms and legs up towards the sky and begin to circle the hands and feet a couple of times one direction and a couple of times the other direction. And then let's point the feet and make fists with the hands. Then flex the feet, spread the fingers out wide. And then wiggle through the fingers and toes, just lubricating all the little joints in the hands and feet. And then begin to pump the arms and legs a few times, just bending and straightening the elbows and the knees. And then we can let those knees come back into the chest, give them another hug. And then place the hands on the kneecaps. Let the arms stretch out straight. And that should put your legs in position so that you're nice and squarely on your sacrum bone. We'll start to make some sacrum circles here. We let the arms do the work, the legs just go along for the ride, but we're drawing circles with the knees. We want to go both directions, so after you've completed a few circles one way, take the circles the other way. You can make them bigger, smaller, just whatever feels good to smooth out any tension in the back of the hips. And then we'll just roll on to that right side and press up into seated on the right leg here with the knees bent, left knee behind the right. We'll put one hand on either side of that right knee. And with the inhale, plug the fingers into the floor and lift the spine, or lift the crown of the head, arch the spine just a little. And then on the exhale, fold over this bent knee. On the inhale, contract the belly, pull the torso upright, add the little arch. Exhale, hinge forward. Once more. Now starting to lubricate the joints all along the spine. From here, let's walk the hands over to the right. So if you place the left hand where the right hand was, and then the right hand further over to the right, you come into a nice little twist. You can stay in that twist if you like, or you can lift off of this twist. If you want to lift off, press down with that right palm, lift the hips, sweep the left arm up to the sky, and then maybe overhead. Oh, that opens up the front of the pelvis and that left hip flexor, as well as getting a nice little side stretch here. One more breath. And then set the hips back down. Walk the hands so one hand is on either side of that bent knee, and this time fold over and then hold here for a breath or two, maybe even letting your forehead rest on your hands. Then we'll come back upright and let's change sides so that we are on that left leg, the knees bent. Got one hand on either side of that left knee. So with the inhale, come up to the fingertips, grow tall, arch just a little. exhale, hinge forward. 2 more times here. Inhaling to lift and open. Exhaling to get that stretch. Once more. And then we add that little bit of a twist. So walking the right hand over to where the left hand was. Left hand goes further to the side. Gentle twist. This helps to wring out the organs and glands in the gut. Now either stay in this twist or lift off by pressing down with that left hand, lifting the hips, sweeping the right arm up and overhead. Now that right hip flexor gets to awaken. Front of the pelvis continuing to open. And then we'll set back down. Walk the hands so they're framing that front knee again. And on an exhale, we'll hinge forward. This time, let's hold here. Just enjoy that little bit deeper outer thigh stretch now. And then we'll make our way into a seated position, and we'll just sit cross-legged. Either leg can be in front. Do get the flesh of the bum out from behind you though, and sit up tall. We'll take a couple of side bends here. Let's place the left hand out to the side, and then inhale, reach that right arm up overhead, and exhale, take a little side bend. Inhale, back off of the side bend just a bit. Exhale, take it deeper. Inhale, back off. Exhale, deeper. And now we're going to add some giant arm circles. So let that top arm sweep down and in front of you, and then sweep behind you and back up overhead. So the biggest arm circles you can make. So now getting the juices flowing throughout the shoulder girdle. So we lubricate all the joints in the upper back, shoulders, and neck here. And then the next time that you reach that arm overhead, then go ahead and stay. You might even creep the bottom hand out a little further if you feel ready to open up a little more deeply now. And with the next exhale, return upright and change the cross of the legs. Sit up tall. Let's place the right hand off to the side. Inhaling, let's take that left arm up. Exhale, side bend. Okay, you know the routine now. Inhale, we ease off that stretch a little, and then exhale, we bend just a little deeper. Another time, just coaxing the joints to loosen, coaxing the muscles to open. All right, this time we'll stay and we'll add the giant circles. So let that left arm sweep down in front of you, come behind you, reach back overhead into that stretch. Do that a couple more times. The first circle always feels a little stiff, but after 3 or 4 circles, you hopefully can really start to feel some opening. This next time, as we take the arm overhead now, we can hang out in this stretch for a few breaths. And then come on upright. Pause for a breath here. And then let's take the arms out and behind. So we can clasp the fingers behind the back. Lift the arms high, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And then release. Bring the arms forward and then up overhead. And if you can, let the palms touch and then let the arms straighten. So as your sit bones are rooting down, the fingertips are reaching up like to touch the sky. And it's as if you're holding a paintbrush in between your hands. Let's begin to paint circles along the sky. You can have little tiny circles or medium or large circles. This is really getting into the shoulder now. Of course, we want to go both directions, so pause wherever you are and then change the circle. And then on the next exhale, we'll release. And let's transition into a tabletop. So we're on the hands and knees, loosening up the hips and legs a bit more now. We'll take some hip circles. They're sort of like the old fire hydrants that we did back in the day. So we want to lift that left leg, bring it out to the side, and then start to trace circles with that knee. Again, your circles may be small, medium, or large, whatever it takes to start to get the juices flowing, lubricate the joints. Now, when you're ready, we'll take that left leg, stretch it out long behind. You can point the toes, and then come on down to the forearms. And once you're solid on your forearms, lift that leg up towards the sky, pointing to the sky with your toes. And then return to tabletop. We'll take that with the right leg next. So we bring the knee up, out to the side, and then start to make some circles with that leg. Maybe start small and work your way up to a little bigger and a little bigger circle. And then eventually send that leg out straight behind, pointing the toes. Come on down to the forearms, and then lift that right leg, point the toes up to the sky. If you haven't noticed, that really awakens the entire back side of the body, especially that leg that's working. And now let's come on back to the tabletop. And then we'll tuck the toes under. Lift the hips up and back, an inverted V. Let's pedal the feet back and forth a few times here. Again, lubricating now through the ankles and the feet, awakening the calf muscles at the same time. And then we'll begin to walk the feet up towards the hands. We'll land in what I call a ragdoll pose. So leave the feet about hips distance apart and the knees bent, and then the upper body just hangs from the hips. The arms can either hang long or you can clasp the opposite elbows. Now let your head stay heavy here so that the neck can be long. And you can decide if you just want to stay in stillness or in keeping with that watery, flowy feel of the practice, you can begin to create a little swaying motion with the body. Then with the next inhale, let's reach the arms out and up. Try to touch the sky. Exhale, swan dive halfway down. Hands can come to the knees. And then inhale, lengthen the spine and straighten the legs. Exhaling, hinge from the hips any amount. Hello, hamstrings. Then we'll put a little bend in the knees. Now, if your back is super healthy, you could roll up one vertebrae at a time. Or if you have some back issues, then let's zip up the core and then reach the arms out and up. Either way, we end up, we're all standing, reaching towards the sky. And then let the arms open out like a T, straight out from the shoulders. Maybe bring those arms back and down just a few inches. Open up to God's grace this morning. And then on the next exhale, just let the arms release to the sides. Good morning.